I'm Cassie Height, and I play Francesca.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Jane Markham, and I play... Who the hell am I? Greta. Forgot who I am.
My name is Rebecca Sturm, and I'm the producer.
So let's start with when Francis came up with this idea, because I get the vibe just knowing the Chicago to LA trip. This is a little personal for him. What was it like when he finalized the script and was like, I've got this quirky little story?
Well, that kind of happened twice, right, Rusty? Yeah, he had one script in mind, and then it was having worked with Frank as an actress and having been his wife for several years, I am very familiar with the way he works, and it's a very admirable quality, actually, because it's a very practical filmmaker approach in that he had so many locations and so many logistical things to overcome that he was like, yeah, that's not going to be practical, and I'm not going to get the budget for that movie, and it's not going to happen. And so then he had to really be hard on himself and take away things that he loved and rearrange, and then we got pregnant, and then my character was had this whole other thing going on, and that was totally, he just rewrote it for a pregnant lady, and I guess it worked out. This is awesome.
We'll kind of jump in when you talk about those location shots and about showcasing where the film was. Mm-hmm. I know Francis had his DP from Harold. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about having someone obviously familiar with him working on the camera? It seemed like everyone knew each other on this project.
Yeah, I mean, Tom,
yeah.
We've worked from Buttleman, because I was in Buttleman as well, and they're just they have a shorthand. They don't have to really explain a lot of stuff to each other. They just have an amazing way of working together, and Tom's just family. And Tom also he's from the Midwest, from Indiana, so there's a really innate understanding of the kind of films that Frank makes, and they really work well together. And then when we met Becca, how long ago was it? Here, you know this, you can tell that story.
So I met Frank at the Film Independent Forum. He was looking for a producer for that LA Film Festival puts on, and he was looking for a producer. I was just kind of trying to figure out what to do next, and then Frank and I bonded over our love of quirky comedies. And so he approached me with Wild Honey and sent me the script and sent me some footage he'd shot. And that's finally when I came on board, and we started shooting about 2 months after I boarded. But the thing about everyone being a family is it had to have a cohesion. In order to make it work within our budget, we had to shoot a very long days, very short time period. So we worked on condensing all of the locations. We had an amazing location manager in LA who had a lot of relationships that was able to really kind of bring in a lot of her kind of connections to help with us. But she had a love of the script also. And Frank, having been from Chicago, and Rusty being from Chicago, it was important to have landmarks and pieces that actually felt familiar and more like real life rather than locations you see on a film.
Yeah.
So we worked really hard to make all of those locations and pieces and parts work together.
Speaking of that casting, I mean, obviously there's a lot of connections to, his original film, but also Dog Catchers. I mean, with Rusty obviously too. But can y'all talk about the casting part of it, and in particular about what that was like once you guys were on set, once he was taking over? What was it like working with him?
You can talk about, Becca is very much responsible for helping us get our leads. We had a great relationship with Rusty established already, and then you can talk about that. I can help you with the other parts. I know very much about that.
Well, as far as casting the film, casting the role of Martin, we wanted to get kind of the right person. We thought of a lot of different things, and so we actually went to Rusty and said, who do you think would be great for this role, and who do you think would be a great fit? And she suggested Timothy Amundsen, who we went out to. We had our wonderful casting directors, Susan Paley Abrams and Justine Hemp, and they went out to Timothy's people for us. And then Rusty also helped us secure Stephanie Weir and Todd Stashwick. And the four of them together were kind of all magic. And then Frank and Stephanie actually, and Cassie kind of all helped fill in with a lot of the people that they work with regularly to kind of fill in the rest of the cast. So we have amazing players throughout this entire project who you'll see, like Rizwan, who is Tiger Hunter?
Yeah.
Tiger Hunter, that's making the rounds right now.
Yeah, Leonard Cons, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a really amazing cast of people, and Jessica Caesar, who's in everything. Like you see,
everywhere right now.
you see, you watch, you can't help but watch TV without seeing her face come through on a commercial.
She's on a Publix grocery store ad, stretching in some exercise gear. Somebody was telling me. I was like, nice work, Jess.
It was a team effort.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we actresses know other actresses, and when, Frank comes to me, like, do you know a girl that would be, yes. Do you know somebody? I know just the person. Like, like, let's audition that person. And so that's just how it all happens, really. It's like you just always know other actors that are the ones that could do the part, so.
Cassie, what was your favorite part about being picked for that particular character?
I had a lot of favorite parts. Definitely, can I say what happens in the scene? Is that okay? Like, okay, cool. I was just told, the bean scene was really fun. I think one of my favorite things, though, is I had never done any nudity before. This is my first time, and before I went in, it was really sweet. Rusty came up to me and was like, I'm going to sit outside. If you feel, make sure you feel comfortable. If you need anything, just tell them you want to see me. And so that was really helpful. And Stephanie came in, and she actually did the body paint for me. It was a really friendship bonding experience. But yeah, it was so fun.
flashed you.
You did. Every time I would finish a take, she, because was almost 8 months pregnant, she would be like, hey, I'm naked too, and just flash her stomach at me. But it was so fun, and I feel like Frank made it so comfortable, and just everyone on set was so amazing that I'm so happy that I did it, and it was the character was just so fun, and the rest of the movie I'm just in a kimono, as any good actress is, obviously, but not over dramatic at all. But yeah, it was really fun. My roommate had a dog, and the dog for I think days could smell beans on me. So yeah.
And in your car.
My car was really lovely for the next few days. But yeah, it was a blast.
Did you all have a favorite scene, or was there a production side of thing where a scene just stood out? How are we going to do this?
I had a favorite line that I said. I think it's my favorite line of all time that I've ever had to say, which was Rusty talks about she wants to go to the park, and then she's like, I'm like, oh, Griffith Park, and she's like, no, this park in Van Nuys, and I'm like, you want to go to Van Nuys? It's my favorite because nobody ever wants to go to Van Nuys, and if you've been there, you know why.
As far as production goes, my favorite scenes to shoot, it's kind of hard to put my finger on just one, because I felt like a lot of the shoot itself was kind of a miracle getting it all together the way we were able to. But there were several scenes, actually, I don't want to spoil the movie, but there is the climactic scene for Rusty. While it was a difficult day of filming, it was such an emotionally beautiful scene that I got choked up watching it. And I felt like it was that was something that was really satisfying as a producer, for all of the parts to kind of come together and get an emotional reaction on set, and then again when watching the film. And so I think being able to see all of the pieces of the chemistry coming together, and it working with the locations, and we were small, and I used to say we were small but mighty, our crew, and we were the little movie that could. And I feel like seeing all those pieces come together, especially we had a big restaurant scene, and having all those pieces come together, it was the day that our crew was the biggest, and we were on the biggest time crunch to get everything done. But seeing all of those things kind of come together, and then seeing the different chemistry actually really pop once you get it on screen. You never know if it's going to when you're seeing it in person and it works, but seeing it on camera come through. So, but I have to say, I think one of my favorite scenes was the emotional climax.
What's it mean to make it into this festival? And I know you have a little Texas ties, but it must be important that it's Austin Film Festival that looks at story, that looks at the script, that looks at everyone involved around in the film. I mean, this is kind of a perfect premiere for you guys, I think.
I would absolutely agree that Austin Film Festival is the perfect premiere for us. This is my first feature completely on my own producing it. And the one thing that I've always loved is really great stories. And that's what drew me to work on this project to begin with. So to get into a festival that celebrates the writers and the stories that they make, I feel like we couldn't have picked a better well, I'm sorry, we didn't pick. We feel lucky that they chose us to program this film, and they have been so supportive, and they love our movie as much as we do, which has really, really been gratifying and just a really wonderful experience so far. Like, they have been fantastic to us. So we couldn't ask for anything better, and I'm stoked that this is our world premiere venue.
Yes, and I'll just add to that, being married to a very talented writer-director, I am so proud of him, and like I get emotional like because of this particular festival. It's like the meaningfulness is very noticed in our household. So it's he's a very he's just incredibly in good company in this festival, and we couldn't be more grateful and excited to be part of it. So, yay!
Since we had a fun little bean moment, I don't want to do nudity or anything, but since we're here in Austin, let's talk about food you're excited to eat or anything fun like
Hell
that.
yeah. Oh, we've been talking about donuts. Donuts are happening on Saturday.
Yeah, and tacos.
And tacos.
Yeah.
What about you?
Where are y'all going to donuts? You can give a shout out.
I
knows a place.
have a friend, I can't think of it. She saw that I was in Austin, and I started getting like emails from people being like, you have to go here, you have to go here, and there's a donut shop I guess we have to go to.
We don't remember the name.
I have no idea. But all I was like, donuts, yes.
Donuts, tacos, and
Barbecue.
Oh yeah, barbecue.
waiting for it.
Hello?
Yeah, the producer.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know, because I am from Kentucky. I'm from the South. I don't know
Pretty
about
sure
this
we got
barbecue
you
in Texas.
beat.
I'm gonna have to look and see what I think about it. So we'll have to check it out.
Well, ladies, I really appreciate it. Love the film, and I agree. I think it is perfect that it's here in Austin.
Thank you very much.